Lt.Gen. Joseph Musanyufu has underscored the crucial role of peace, security and defense in achieving sustainable economic development and national unity.
Well, the fight against counterterrorism is a whole government effort. It involves all sectors of government and therefore requires a center for coordinating all the agencies, and thus the National Counterterrorism Center. This center is tasked with supporting, coordinating and executing the activities outlined in the Preventing and Countering of Violent Extremism.
He notes that the government has taken significant steps to combat terrorism and violent extremism, including the establishment of a National Counter-Terrorism Center to coordinate efforts against terrorism, involve all sectors of the government, and execute activities outlined in the Preventing and Countering Violent Extremism Strategy and Action Plan. Providing historical context, Lt.Gen. Musanyufu referenced the first attacks in Uganda in 1998 and notable incidents such as the 1998 bombing of Kichwamba Technical College, where over 80 students were murdered. He reiterated the government's commitment to collaborating with development partners and civil society organizations to promote sustainable peace and security for all Ugandans.
Uganda's effort and approach to PCVE, emphasizing standardization, community engagement, and integration of human rights-based perspectives throughout all this effort. We believe if we work together, we shall be able to achieve all this.
Lt.Gen. Musanyufu expressed appreciation for the collaborative efforts of the European Union, the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, and various other stakeholders in preventing and combating violent extremism in Uganda.
The recruitment of vulnerable groups into violent extremism, activities that may lead to terrorism. And therefore, that's why we greatly appreciate this study, whose results we are going to receive and discuss, because it will help us in our work to identify the areas we need to focus on, to identify where we have performed and achieved, and where there still are existing gaps.
The United Nations Resident Coordinator in Uganda, Her Excellency Susan Namondo, observed that the UN recognizes violent extremism as a broader development issue linked to inequality, poverty, and limited opportunities for young people.
For this virus not to really take root, and where the seeds have already started to be planted, that we work to make sure that they eject them. One effective way to strengthen this community resilience is by fostering the trust between law enforcement agencies and the communities that they serve. Initiatives like community policing can help shift the role of law enforcement from enforcer to protector. And I know that Uganda is already working on this, but how to do more. Creating partnerships that are key to preventing extremism. And as been mentioned also, Uganda, of course, is not in isolation of the broader region, but we are looking forward to Uganda's leadership in this area. It is a very important issue for the region, and we count on Uganda really leading the region in working on preventing violent extremism.
The Deputy Ambassador of the European Union in Uganda states that security challenges transcended borders and emphasizes that terrorism remains a significant threat to international peace and security.
The EU stands in solidarity with Uganda as we face common security challenges that know no borders. And indeed, terrorism remains one of the most serious threats to international peace and security. And the spate of attack in Europe, in Africa, and elsewhere in the world serve as a stark reminder that these threats persist and continues to evolve. The European Union is committed to global leadership in countering terrorism and violent extremism. This commitment is exemplified by our current role as co-chair of the Global Counterterrorism Forum. Through the GCTF, we are fostering international cooperation and sharing best practices to enhance our collective capacity to prevent, detect, and respond to terrorist threats worldwide.
The event, organized in partnership between the government of Uganda and the UNODC with funding from the EU, brought together over 100 key stakeholders, including representatives from government ministries, departments, agencies, civil society organizations, and religious leaders. The report was carried out in 19 districts, identified as high-risk communities for violent extremism in Kasese, Ntoroko, Bumbunjo, Kamwenje, Fort Portal, Gulu, Yombe, Arua, Zombo, Nebi, Namayingo, Mayuge, Jinja, Buyende, Iganga, Masaka, Rengo, Kampala, and Wakiso. The report was compiled by Serena Naguja